hearts are pounding in Denver.
This is Something Something Broncos.
This one's for Pat. It is caught. Touchdown, Moses.
Elam's kick.
It is good! Down the sideline!
53 yards!
Stokely! Wow!
Davis into the end zone, rocking, standing up.
Touchdown!
Denver's going to win it.
Bailey taken off.
Oh, baby, they're going to win this thing.
Unbelievable!
Featuring
And here he is,
Mike DeSico and Jess Place.
having the time of his life.
Welcome to Something Something Broncos.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Something Something Broncos. I am Jess Place, joined as always, well, maybe not this time. Mike DeSico is on a special assignment for Something Something Broncos. He's somewhere in Oregon, and so we have a special guest today. It's everybody's favorite editor-in-chief over at Mile High Report, Tim Lynch. Tim, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm excited. Today was day one, even though it's like kind of day three of training camp. Can you explain to the listener how the days of training camp are calculated in the media? Because I'm just going to go out there and say it. No one knows. No one has any idea.
Well, you follow the team's lead. They said it was day one. So,
yeah, but they reported on Tuesday. So those days were like negative days. Those days didn't count. They're
acclimation day one, acclimation day two, and then day one of training camp. That's how you got to think about it.
Okay, and then when
it still gets people every year though. When
they take a day off, do you count that day, or does the count stop?
I only count the public days. So if the fans are in attendance, that's day one. Then the next time the fans are in attendance, that's day two. So we'll end at day 13 or 14, and then we won't have any more days because it's all closed sessions.
Now, wait, okay. So this is information only for the fans that follow the Gregorian football calendar, okay? Because it's all different rules if you're not following that. It's totally different. So, but seated in that information that Tim gave you, it was day one of training camp in the Broncos' new facility. Do you want to talk new facility? Do you want to talk the action of today? We can go either way. Like, Mike's not here. Like, we can do whatever we want, Tim.
I mean, if you haven't seen the drone footage that the team released on their YouTube and Twitter accounts, was it yesterday? It is incredible we're talking like, I don't know, all these other poverty teams, I don't know what they play in, what they practice in, but man, you come to Denver, you're treated like a king. As a player, if I was a player, I would want to play. I would want to practice nowhere else. Like it's freaking gorgeous. The facility
looks tremendous. I mean, like one thing I did notice about the video, if you watch it, they didn't show where the entrance to the locker room is. So they kind of like buzzed around, and then there was just like kind of this like sharp cut, and we're in the locker room, and I think that was security strategic, like we're not doing the Scientology speed runs in the Broncos facility. That's just not going to happen.
Well, maybe not yet. Give it a couple of years.
I'm not going to support that. Don't do that. That's probably not a good idea. You have a lot of very large men who have tempers and aggression issues, especially when they're charged up. So do not do the speed run through the Broncos facility. Even though that cafeteria, like, that looks amazing. They have the barbershop, I'd get my hair cut there. That's awesome. Like, there's so much cool stuff there. Like, can you imagine being one of these like kind of camp arms or one of these guys who has no prayer of making the team? Like, you're walking around that building just like, damn, this
I could be on the Browns right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm on the Broncos.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing like it in the league. I mean, really,
no,
it is a new bar for the entire NFL. And
can you imagine? Take notes. Can you imagine what the stadium's going to look like if this is what they're doing with the freaking practice facility? That new stadium is going to make Jerry Jones jealous.
My son was just down here, and he was looking at a picture I have from when we only had 2 Super Bowls, from like back when, like, the scoreboard from when the new stadium was built. It has Bucky on there, and he was asking me all sorts of questions about Bucky and will he be at the new stadium, and I was like, oh, definitely. Like, we went and looked up, all the refurb they did on it when they upgraded the scoreboard and all that. And then, I tend to spend a little bit. I was like, God, does that mean like new stadium, no more parachuting into the stadium to start football games? Is that going to be like a thing of the past, a relic?
Maybe bungee jump? I don't know.
I don't know. It's just not the same, Tim. It is an amazing thing to see. Like those dudes just like, and they're on their way. Like it is fast and it is dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's another show. Okay. So let's move into training camp. Okay. It's, the press is not entirely close to the fields. They by design, like their little corral area is just about as far away as you can be. But we do get a lot of good reports from just about everybody. Is there anything from the tweets and all the hand wringing and everything? Is there anything that stuck with you as the takeaways from today's training camp episode?
I think the one thing that I saw was Bo seems to have a little bit better delivery in this camp, a little quicker release, and gosh, he's by all accounts looking good. It is training camp, but it's great to see him back. If the Broncos are going to be a Super Bowl contender, they're going to need Bo Nix. Obviously, Jalen Waddle's out there doing Jalen Waddle things, lots of big plays, but the defense once in the red zone period definitely won that. One thing that I found interesting was Sean Payton said that they view Ben Powers as a starter, which was interesting to me because he was already the starter. So, you say something like that because maybe there's a younger guy like Alex Pacheco. I struggle with his name. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think Alex P is probably the guy that could start already, and that might be why he mentioned there's some competition there. But man, this offensive line is already one of the best in the league, and they continue to look like they'll be the best in the league again. And then the defense is good. Everything is looking great day one. So there's nothing
Powers,
negative.
Though. There was some contract stuff going on with Powers, correct?
Yeah, he restructured his contract. He got more guaranteed money, but a lower cap number. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. If they cut him, he'll get more guaranteed money, so they're out, dead money there. But I don't see any reason why not. You just roll with it. You always could use extra depth on the line and worry about how things shake out after this season.
Well, it strikes me just because of Sean Payton's comments about Powers being a starter he just took this pay cut, and so maybe that line is for him. Like, so that he feels reassured that, they're not
true
pushing him out. Who else would it be for? Like, why would you say something like you said? It seemed kind of odd. And so that speaks to that to me. But, again, what do I know? I get to host a podcast.
It's day one. So it's just everything is optimistic, right? So I think the only surprising thing that I saw was linebacker Drew Sanders is hurt and not practicing, which seems to be a theme throughout his career. This is a critical training camp for him. So hopefully we see him kind of get back on the field here very soon.
Yeah. That is troubling. It was nice that there were no cart reports. You never want to see the cart reports, and especially for this team, because this team is returning so many people that we fell in love with last year that, unlike in previous years, and unless it's one of these camp bodies who's going to be, holding on with everything they got to stay in the facility if they get cut. These are guys that we know, and we don't want them to be injured. Like, for example, speaking of injury, there's J.K. Dobbins. He had a lot to say about his injuries and his expectations for this year.
Yeah, he addressed the injury thing. I think obviously from his standpoint, he wants a full healthy season. He struggled to put that together for quite a few years. And this offense wasn't the same without him. Bo Nix had to win a shootout against Josh Allen, and I don't care how good Bo Nix is, you don't want to get in shootouts with Josh Allen and expect to win every game. You're going to drop some of those games. So they were going to struggle without J.K. Dobbins if they had gotten, Bo Nix didn't get injured and they got in the Super Bowl. That was a a huge blow. The running game was just completely lacking without Dobbins. So I'm glad they drafted Jonah Coleman. Rookie runners tend to get up to speed and get into the offense fairly quickly. There's not like a multi-year development period with running back positions. But having that depth behind Dobbins is key. But if you watch Dobbins play when he was healthy, he was the best runner on the team, obviously. And there was no question at all that the team suffered without him. So I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's healthy. And the injury wasn't terrible. Like, it wasn't season ending necessarily. It just happened late in the season and became a season ending injury because of that. So it's not like he tore an ACL or popped an Achilles heel or something like that. So I'm optimistic. I want to see this team has to run the ball better than they did last year. And all the criticisms that the national pundits lay on Bo Nix, it all comes from the fact that the Broncos didn't have a consistent run game. So what do you expect? Bo Nix isn't going to be consistent without a consistent running game. You can't put it all on the quarterback. You can't be one-dimensional. So with a strong running game, you're going to see some pretty good quarterback play from Bo Nix, and it's going to feed off each other. That's what I'm hoping for.
The takeaway from his remarks, J.K. Dobbins' remarks, was that he fully intends to be healthy for all 17 games this year. Now, I love the optimism. Unfortunately, you have no control over someone like rolling over on your leg or anything like that. Freak injuries, these things happen. And unfortunately, in the game of football, when they happen, it's like directly attributable to the player, which is like totally unfair. But that's the game they play in. And so that's the contract that they agreed to. But in addition to J.K. Dobbins being back, which is going to be amazing, transformative for this offense, there is another transformative player that has opened a few eyes on this day one of training camp. The impressions of Jalen Waddle.
I mean, I haven't really seen anything other than that one-handed grab that went viral.
That was on day 0. That's
day -1.
No, you wait. Can you just go -1 to 1? I think there's an intermediary step there, isn't there? I don't know.
Oh, so you're calling acclimation day 2 is? I mean, we're getting in the weeds here, but I mean, whatever. It was during the acclimation days, but it was still sweet, and the throw was perfect.
And there's a picture of him with no feet on the ground. So he's like, I mean, it's not a lot. It's not like he's like leaping, feet into the air. There had to be a good 4 inches of clearance, but it's still, it gets you excited about football. Like, oh my God, he like went up and got it, and it's amazing.
Well, he's obviously impressing early. Sean Payton compared his prototype skill set at the position as walking on water. So, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good compliment.
Right. It puts him in somewhat elite company, I would say.
Yeah. And we all want to look at like, what are the big plays Waddle are going to bring to the offense? But really what Waddle's going to do is it's going to open up all the other possibilities on the offense. And so he'll put stresses on the defense that'll allow, like in training camp today, in the camp practice, Bo Nix hit Marvin Mims for a 50-yard pass down the field. And there's another big play to Evan Ingram, and then there was a big play to Cortland Sutton. So it's like these guys are open because Jalen Waddle needs attention every down, every snap. You got to account for where's Waddle, and you're putting Sutton against the number 2 guy instead of the number 1 guy, and then Marvin Mims is going up against whoever, and it's just. It almost feels like Jalen Waddle's the missing piece to the scheme itself, not just the offense.
I mean, we've known that, right? That big play receiver would kind of open up this whole offense. Like, it was kind of just that one missing piece. And I mentioned it in our Slack chat, kind of about the tweets that came out about the offense. And it looks like they're showing, big chunk, deep attack type plays, which in recent years for the Broncos have been few and far between. Granted, in the last couple of years, we've seen more of them because we have a competent quarterback and a competent coach. But I got excited. I mean, it's day 1 and they're, chucking it all over the field and everyone's losing their minds. It's looking great. Day 1. does that translate into something different than the 3-yard pass for -1 yards, like that we have all come to grow and hate as a centerpiece of the Broncos offense for the last few years?
Well, we hate it because it was predictable and there was nobody outside that could put stress on the defense. So those little bubble screens don't work when the defense doesn't have anybody to respect. You know what I'm saying? So you put Jalen Waddle out there, and he's somebody you have to respect because of his speed and agility. And Cortland Sutton's dangerous to a number 2, so now you got to respect that. So then you have Evan Ingram that could be a problem for some linebackers. Marvin Mims doing a bubble screen becomes much more interesting because you just took away a lot of players that would have just aped the bubble screen because they know that Cortland Sutton's not going to beat their number 1 guy outside with help. And, there's so many factors that go into it. And we may not hate, what I'm trying to say is we may not hate that call this year. We only hate it because it didn't work.
A 3-yard pass that instead of -1, it goes to the house for a touchdown. I mean, I would love that. I would love that. Like, turn it, prove me wrong. That's what I say. So that's the offensive side of the ball. Was there anything else from day one or in the negative days that you want to talk about before we shift gears to the defense?
Well, I mean, segueing into the defense, they got burned by the offense on the big plays. That's something they'll have to tighten up, but it's really where they won day one of training camp was in the red zone. So it's kind of a tale of two situations of situational football.
Look at you go.
I know.
Want to do it again?
No, I do not.
You don't know.
But no, so the offense, they're generating the big play, which is great, but they've obviously got work to do in the red zone because the red zone defense dominated that session. I think they forced a fumble at the goal line. Can't remember who. It was one of the up-and-coming linebackers. Dang it, his name's escaping me. But and then I think Riley Moss had a couple of big pass breakups down there. So the defense definitely carried the day where it matters down in the red zone, but they got burned big on the big play when the Broncos offense had space to work with. So I think both units had successes and both units have things they got to work on, which is good place to be.
For the fan that watches this team, for the ones that know the red zone struggles of the Broncos over the last few years, that makes sense, right? And for fans of the defense who have known that is where they clamp down and do not allow touchdowns and oftentimes they're able to even eliminate scoring altogether, field goals and whatnot. That is also par for the course. So it'll be interesting to see as the days start to pile up in sequential order. By the way, I would like to just point out with all this training camp talk, the days do go sequentially. So we will not go back into the negative, but as it all plays out, we'll be able to see, is it more of a function of the offense's inability to punch it in when they're in the red zone, or is that defense just so good in the red zone that no one can?
Well, you might be right, because a tight end did have a 50-yard touchdown against the defense today, so that fits their pattern of recent years. So it looks like everybody's starting where they left off. But I think it's all positive. It's too early to know anything. It's going to be too early to know anything until week 1. So the good thing that I am taking out of this offseason is teams have incredible turnover every year, right? And so you get this wholesale roster turnover across the board in all position groups. And the problem with that is with the NFLPA agreement, all that is you have a very narrow, short period of time to get everybody on the same page and get the chemistry going. It's a very few number of practices they can get going before the first game. So what ends up happening is that the NFL is just a sloppy game the first 4 weeks of the year, 4 to 6 weeks, because teams are just all trying to gel together and get up to speed. And by bringing everybody back, I think they lost very few players that started last year. John Franklin Myers, but you bring everybody back. They've already practiced with each other and played a whole season together. The chemistry's already there in every position group. You're going to enter week 1 several weeks ahead of the rest of the NFL in terms of just moving the ball, getting, having the chemistry, just tempo, everything. So I'm hoping, given the first 6 weeks of the year are brutal for the Broncos, that they'll just come out and just kind of just take care of business early before the other teams wake up and stack some wins when they're playing the best teams that they play this year. So that's what I'm hoping for, and that's the caveat that made me realize that bringing everybody back probably was a good thing in this context. And you're going to see a lot of efficient play from them. Hopefully no sloppiness to start the season like we usually see from not just the Broncos but every NFL team. The quality of the games are pretty bad that first month.
But it's still football, Tim. Don't.
I'm not hating.
Don't hate.
I'm just saying the football kind of sucks.
Celebrate. Don't hate.
I'll celebrate when they beat the Chiefs in week 1.
Special teams. I didn't see anything. Special teams, no reports. Exciting. Long snapper, he's obviously doing his job. I have nothing to say about special teams.
Yeah.
No. Boring.
Nope.
Boring. No one wants to hear about it. Which is a good thing. I mean, if it's day one and we're talking about special teams, then maybe we're in worse shape than we thought. So that's a good thing. Anything else, man? Like, it's good to talk to you. It's good to talk to the football. It's good. The Broncos, they're going to be good this year. And, week 1 against the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is walking different for whatever, that was a weird tweet that came out. I
saw that too.
Like, great. Maybe he stubbed his toe. I don't know. I don't know. It's probably like a Princess and the Pea kind of situation, huh?
I mean, the Broncos have the 3rd best AFC West odds, even though they're coming off the number 1 seed, 14 wins. It's just like, the Broncos just always get the hate, but we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
They have a new facility. Like, that should count for at least 1 spot. We should be at the very least 2nd in the AFC West until we destroy Kansas City week 1 and make a statement that we are actually the team.
I mean, I don't understand. It's just Patrick Mahomes effect. Like, they see the name Patrick Mahomes and it's automatic. Oh yeah, they're the favorite. But it's like that team has not drafted well in quite a few years and is catching up to them. Yeah, they made a big signing for Kenneth Walker and he's going to be a problem to deal with. But I mean, Travis Kelce's like 400 years old. Now he's married. He's not going to be as hungry. The whole team's probably not as hungry, and it's just going to show on the field. And
I'm not taking the bait. I'm not taking the bait and making an Andy Reid joke. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go right over it, and I'm going to let you talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the Chargers are the Chargers. Eventually they'll prove me wrong, but until they do, they're just Justin Herbert comes up small in big games. Like every big game he's played in, it seems like he's just come up short. And I'm not talking about regular season. I'm talking about end your season type big games. But we'll see. John Harbaugh, I respect him as a coach, so maybe they are the team to beat, or the team that will challenge the Broncos the most. Still not worried about the Raiders. They'll probably flub this number 1 draft pick that they had. They'll destroy his career. But
did you see the weird video with Kirk Cousins pretending to have Mendoza up against a locker and threatening, and Max Crosby was filming it. I caught a brief glimpse, and I'm like, that, I guess now is the time to do that, because it's going to be just a complete tire fire, trash fire, dumpster fire, whatever you want to call it, by week 3 of the regular season. And Kirk Cousins is not going to be joking around in that way with Mendoza.
This team has a chance to be good, and Kirk Cousins is a decent quarterback. But when I say good, I mean 500. I don't,
better
good,
is the word you were looking
good
for.
in the terms of the Raiders realm of the last 3 decades. But they're certainly in a division that isn't favorable to them getting to the playoffs this year. But if Mendoza ends up being a franchise quarterback, I mean, that's it. They have a dangerous young core of players there. Brock Bowers, Ashton Jenney, and that could be a pretty strong core of players if they can figure out how to win games. And he's legitimately a franchise quarterback, which we didn't know Bo Nix was a franchise quarterback when he was a rookie either. So we'll see how that plays out. I just don't think for this year they're going to do anything special. They might be competitive.
When you say decades of being terrible, just to put it in perspective for the people listening to this, The night that they lost the Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and John Gruden, that was the night of my first date with my wife. And we dated long distance for over 5 years, lived together for many more years. And we just celebrated my oldest son's 14th birthday, and the Raiders have yet to win a playoff game. Our marriage has never known a Raider playoff win.
Yeah, my oldest daughter was 2, and I am now a grandfather. So that's how long it's been since the Raiders won a playoff game.
You wear it well, Tim. You wear it well, you know?
Thank you. I'm a young grandpa.
It's all right. It's all right. A virile young grandfather. Well, I think that's it. In the immaculate words of Mike DeSico.
Chicken pot pie.
No, that's it. Loud enough. Here we go.
Michael had chicken pot pie.
Michael, I don't know. Did Michael have chicken pot pie?
No, Kenny, that's not pot pie.
That's the end of the show, Tim. That's how we end the show every week. You know that though, because you're a loyal listener, I'm sure, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Absolutely.
Well, like Tim, be sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a little note wherever you do. I'm told that our system that we use aggregates them and puts them somewhere. I'm excited to read them. It's training camp day 1 in the books. More training camp to go. Keep it locked right here on Mile High Broncos podcast for more exciting Broncos awesomeness coming your way. And, amble on over to milehighreport.com. We got some super competent, smart people over there running things. Tim, you're the guy, right? You're one of them. And they kind of direct me who does a little funny, weird article every month. And maybe next Saturday, because Tim is going to be on vacation. So that's all I got. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Amen.